Hey, my name is Kristen Stewart, and today I'll be doing a commemorative speech on someone who's very special to me. Whenever we were assigned this assignment, I knew exactly who I was going to choose to commemorate and who really deserved it. And that is a hero, a soldier, a father, someone who stepped up whenever others didn't. That's my uncle, Randy. Um, Randy Welch started his life off in a very negative situation. Um, First off, he was born with polio, and they told him that he wouldn't live past 17. And they told my grandma that whenever she first had him. He was born on July 8th of 1949, and he only weighed a pound and a half. They had to keep him in a shoebox in the floor of the hospital in order to keep him warm and alive. My grandmother was only 20 years old whenever she had him, and she decided not to give him a middle name because they didn't think that he was going to live past 17. So, regardless of his start off in life, he still managed to do remarkable things. He served our country, and then he picked up numerous traits along the way after serving our country. He served in Vietnam, and I have some pictures I'd like to show y'all. These are actual pictures from Vietnam. Just a little bit of his journey through there. And he served one tour, and then he started having really bad muscle spasms in his back, and he couldn't serve another tour like he had planned to. Whenever he returned, he became an electrician, and he learned how to wire CB radios. And then eventually he worked on stereo systems and opened up his own internet store on eBay for antiques. He was a very awesome father, even though biologically he couldn't have children. He took my father's spot as a daddy figure in my life, and he stepped in to 3 kids that weren't his. He helped my mother buy me a car whenever I was 16. He took care of me and my 2 other brothers while my mom worked 3 jobs. And he was just a role model that we could confide in and that we knew that we could go to if we needed anything. Surprise. You know how I told you he couldn't have kids? Well, he was married 7 different times, and one of his wives came up to him very early in their marriage and told him that she was pregnant. Biologically, he couldn't have kids, so he didn't stay with her, regardless of what she may think, if the kid was his or not. They divorced shortly after that, but he married a woman who had 2 younger girls, and he ended up adopting them and getting them every other weekend, just like a regular parent, and he took care of all of their school fees for her and everything. I mean, he did everything for those girls. They had their own bedroom at his house, and they referred to him as Little Randy. So, my uncle lived to be 63 years old, even though the doctors told him he wouldn't live past 17. Although he lived most of his life in pain, he still would take the shirt off his back to help anyone. And when I say anyone, I mean anyone. My grandpa was his stepdad, of course, and he would go out with him on the boat and work on the boat and do manual labor for him and mow the yard and just do anything that he could to help him, regardless of how much pain he was in. And he fell off the boat one day and broke one of his ribs. So we took him to Highlands Medical Center in Scottsboro, and they found that he had broken a rib, but not only that, he had masses on his lung. That turned out to be lung cancer. So he lived to be 63, and once we found the lung cancer, he died 6 months later. We took care of him from the time that he got sick. The cancer moved up his spinal cord into his brain and made him blind in his left eye. And finally, he agreed to come live with us because he would not, at the beginning of it, he said he would take care of himself just as long as he could. So he lived to be 63, and he had a military funeral, and he was buried with very many different items that we thought would commemorate him. So can you see now why I chose somebody so awesome to commemorate? And he will always be remembered as my hero and my father, and he will always be my guardian angel watching over me every step of the way. Rest in peace.